Humanity's foray into faster-than-light FTL travel began, predictably, with ambition and excess. The discovery of the Zeroth Field, a strange cosmic layer that allowed manipulation of spacetime, offered humanity the ability to traverse interstellar distances. It was a boon, but there was a catch. The Zeroth Field required enormous amounts of energy to access. Humanity, undeterred by energy concerns, leaned into the challenge with gusto. The resulting starships were titanic constructs, each one a cathedral of metal, engines, and roaring reactors. They consumed vast quantities of resources, guzzling energy with a voracity that startled even their creators. When humanity first entered the galactic stage, the reaction was complicated. The Sh-Hanny Collective were the first to encounter humanity's FTL ships. The Sh-Hanny were an ancient and energy-efficient species, their starships sleek and elegant, gliding through the Zeroth Field with barely a ripple. They watched from the safety of a nearby nebula as humanity's colossal flagship, Obelisk Horizon, ignited its engines, tearing a visible scar across the Zeroth Field. The collective's council convened immediately, their holographic forms flickering in a bioluminescent haze. These creatures, muttered envoy Lyra's, her tendrils twitching with disbelief. They shred spacetime as if it were fabric to be burned. Do they not understand the damage they cause? It's not ignorance, countered Elder Hervik, his voice like flowing water. It's audacity. They see the Zeroth Field as theirs to conquer. Observe how they care little for efficiency. They treat energy as though it is infinite. Meanwhile, humanity, oblivious to the silent disapproval, continued its exuberant expansion. The Obelisk Horizon was just one of dozens. The human fleet soon resembled a fleet of floating cities, each one equipped with reactors that burned so brightly that they could be seen from light years away. The Varnathi, a nomadic species of bioluminescent organisms who considered the Zeroth Field sacred, were less subtle in their reactions. They sent a delegation to intercept humanity's flagship, shimmering into existence alongside the Obelisk Horizon. The Varnathi's emissary, a shimmering cloud of particles, projected a voice directly into the minds of the ship's crew. You violate the sanctity of the Zeroth Field. Your engines scream across dimensions, disturbing the harmony of the universe. Captain Alaravance, a grizzled veteran of Earth's wars and the Obelisk Horizon's commander, listened with a mixture of awe and frustration. We don't have time for harmony, she replied, standing tall in her command chamber. We're trying to ensure humanity's survival. If that means being loud, so be it. The Varnathi emissary pulsated with what might have been disgust. Your arrogance will bring consequences. Unfazed, humanity pushed onward, building ever larger ships. By the time they unveiled the Titan Genesis, a monstrosity the size of a small moon, the galactic community had had enough. A coalition of elder species formed, a rare occurrence in the normally fragmented galaxy. The coalition wasn't designed to wage war, but to present humanity with a stark ultimatum. The envoy that arrived at humanity's new colony world was an amalgamation of forms, a gesture of unity among the coalition. It took on a humanoid shape to ease communication, though its shimmering surface betrayed its origins as a merging of countless intelligences. You are children with fire, it intoned, addressing humanity's leaders. You burn brightly, recklessly, but you will not only consume yourselves. You risk igniting the universe. We've heard this before, Captain Vance replied, stepping forward as the de facto representative of humanity's expansion. And every time it's the same. You see us as reckless, but we see ourselves as pioneers. If you think we'll stop, you're mistaken. The envoy shimmered with irritation. Then perhaps you should understand the consequences of your actions. In a demonstration of power, the Coalition temporarily shut down the Zeroth Field within 100 light-years of humanity's colonies. Ships stalled, energy grids faltered, and for the first time, humanity experienced the void without their engines roaring. In the silence, a new clarity dawned. Humanity realized their colossal ships and excessive consumption weren't just defying convention. They were blind to the fragile balance of the universe they'd entered. Humanity didn't back down, but they adapted. Instead of building ever larger ships, they began refining their technology. Their new designs, though still large and imposing, were quieter, more harmonious with the Zeroth Field. The galaxy watched in cautious approval as humanity learned to temper its power with a modicum of wisdom. Yet, there was a part of the galactic community that couldn't help but admire humanity's audacity, their drive to burn bright even in the face of cosmic disapproval. Some whispered that, for all their recklessness, humanity might just be the spark the galaxy needed to rekindle its own ambitions. And so, humanity continued its journey among the stars, not as conquerors, but as trailblazers. The galaxy learned to both fear and respect them, these firebrands with their massive, power-hungry FTL ships that now roared just a little softer. The Coalition's intervention marked a turning point, but it was far from the end of the story. Humanity's tempered response was pragmatic, but the embers of defiance still smoldered. Behind closed doors, Earth's leading technologists and industrialists debated how to balance their dreams of exploration and dominance with the galactic community's expectations. In the sprawling laboratories of Titan Station, orbiting Saturn, a young engineer named Dr. Malik worked tirelessly on what would become humanity's boldest project yet, the Harmony Drive. Unlike the brute force reactors of the past, the Harmony Drive aimed to manipulate the Zeroth Field using resonance rather than raw energy. It was an ambitious and delicate venture, requiring precision beyond anything humanity had achieved before. The breakthrough came during a crisis. A rogue faction of humanity, dissatisfied with Earth's concessions to the Coalition, launched their own fleet of unregulated FTL ships. These ships, even larger and more destructive than their predecessors, tore through the Zeroth Field with abandon. They called themselves the Free Stars Alliance, claiming humanity's right to unrestricted expansion. The Coalition was swift in its response, deploying energy-dampening fields and precision strikes to neutralize the rogue fleet. But the damage was done. The Zeroth Field in the affected regions became unstable, rippling with unpredictable energy surges. Entire sectors were rendered untraversable, threatening not only humanity but neighboring civilizations. Dr. Malik, now the de facto leader of humanity's scientific community, saw an opportunity in the crisis. She proposed deploying a prototype Harmony Drive vessel, the Resonance Pioneer, to stabilize the damaged Zeroth Field. It was a gamble. If the drive failed, the resulting backlash could cause even greater instability. But with few alternatives, the Coalition reluctantly approved. The Resonance Pioneer was unlike anything humanity had built before. Sleek and elegant, it carried the DNA of both human ingenuity and the wisdom reluctantly gleaned from alien species. As it approached the chaotic region of the Zeroth Field, the galaxy held its collective breath. The activation of the Harmony Drive was nothing short of a symphony. Instead of tearing through space-time, the ship's engines hummed in harmony with the Zeroth Field, weaving the fractured energy strands back together. For the first time, humanity demonstrated not just power, but finesse. The success of the Resonance Pioneer shifted the galactic narrative. The Coalition, once dismissive of humanity, began to view them with cautious respect. The SH Hanny invited Dr. Malik to their homeworld to share the principles of resonance technology. The Varnathi, still skeptical, offered guarded praise, acknowledging that humanity's audacity had at least produced something of value. But not everyone was pleased. The Free Stars Alliance saw the development as a betrayal of humanity's boldness. They accused Earth of capitulating to alien pressures and vowed to continue their campaign for unrestrained expansion. Skirmishes between the Alliance and Earth-aligned forces became a constant backdrop to humanity's efforts to integrate into the galactic community. In the meantime, humanity's exploration continued, albeit with a newfound humility. The Harmony Drive became the standard for interstellar travel, its quiet efficiency a far cry from the roaring reactors of the past. Yet, humanity's ships remained larger and more imposing than most, their designs still reflecting the indomitable spirit that had brought them to the stars. Decades later, a new challenge emerged. An ancient, dormant race known as the Undaunted awakened at the edge of the galaxy. Unlike the Coalition, they were not interested in diplomacy or harmony. They saw all younger civilizations as interlopers and demanded their immediate withdrawal from what they considered sacred space. The Coalition hesitated. The Undaunted were technologically advanced beyond anything the galaxy had faced, their ships seemingly impervious to standard weaponry. For the first time, the elder species looked to humanity, whose defiance of convention had, perhaps ironically, made them uniquely suited to face this existential threat. Captain Alara Vance, now an elder stateswoman of humanity's fleet, led the charge aboard the Obelisk Horizon, retrofitted with Harmony Drive technology. Alongside her was Dr. Malik, now the chief architect of humanity's interstellar strategy. Together, they devised a bold plan, using the Harmony Drive not just for travel but as a weapon of resonance. If they could disrupt the Unthar's energy shields, the Coalition could exploit the vulnerability. The battle that followed became legend. The Obelisk Horizon, accompanied by a fleet of Harmony Drive-equipped ships, faced off against the Unthar in a chaotic dance of light and sound. For every human ship destroyed, 2 Unthar vessels faltered. Humanity's daring tactics, combined with their unrelenting drive, turned the tide. When the Unthar finally retreated, the galaxy erupted in celebration. Humanity, once seen as reckless and brash, was now hailed as saviors. The Coalition granted them a seat at their highest council, and for the first time, humanity felt truly integrated into the galactic community. But as the celebrations faded, humanity remained restless. The stars still beckoned, and their journey was far from over. They would never be content to simply exist. They would always strive to leave their mark, for better or worse, on the infinite canvas of the universe. In the wake of the Unthar retreat, the galaxy entered an era of uneasy peace. Humanity had proven itself, but the scars of war lingered across many sectors. The Zeroth Field, still recovering from the Free Stars Alliance's reckless expansions, was a patchwork of stable corridors and dangerous voids. Humanity's triumph had earned them both allies and enemies, species that respected their ingenuity and boldness, and others that feared their unpredictable nature. The Obelisk Horizon, battered but triumphant, became a symbol of human resilience. It was preserved as a museum ship, orbiting the new galactic capital, Concordia Station, a massive orbital city built collaboratively by the Coalition's member species. Humanity was given the honor of hosting the council chambers, where the galaxy's greatest minds now worked to maintain peace and plan for the future. But humanity had never been comfortable with stillness. Even as Earth and its colonies celebrated their newfound status, the restless drive to explore and innovate continued. This time, their focus turned not outward but inward, to the very fabric of the Zeroth Field itself. Dr. Anya Malik, now a revered figure across the galaxy, spearheaded an ambitious new project, the Lattice Initiative. The goal was nothing less than the stabilization of the entire Zeroth Field. Humanity's engineers envisioned a network of resonance nodes, artificial constructs that could regulate energy flows, prevent tears, and allow for smoother, safer FTL travel. It was a colossal undertaking, requiring the cooperation of dozens of species and untold resources. The coalition was hesitant. The lattice would give humanity unparalleled control over the Zeroth Field, a power that could be weaponized if wielded irresponsibly. The Varnathi were especially vocal in their opposition, accusing humanity of once again overstepping its bounds. The Hani, however, offered cautious support, impressed by humanity's commitment to repairing the damage they had caused. The construction of the first node, Eos, began in a remote sector far from populated worlds. A crystalline structure the size of a small moon, it shimmered like a star as it slowly came online. When activated, it emitted a harmonious pulse that rippled across the Zeroth Field, stabilizing a vast region that had been treacherous for decades. The success of Eos silenced many critics, and construction of additional nodes began. But progress was not without conflict. The Free Stars Alliance, still lurking in the shadows, saw the lattice as a threat to their freedom. They launched sabotage missions, targeting construction sites and resonance nodes. Their attacks caused significant setbacks, and in some cases, destabilized the Zeroth Field even further. In response, humanity's military adapted once again. They developed new vessels, smaller and more agile than the hulking giants of the past, equipped with precision resonance technology that could neutralize the Alliance's disruptions without collateral damage. These ships, nicknamed Wardens, became the guardians of the lattice. The Alliance, however, wasn't the only threat. Deep within the Zeroth Field, humanity's engineers began encountering anomalies. Regions where the laws of physics broke down, where time seemed to loop and warp, and where strange, incomprehensible signals pulsed in patterns no one could decipher. The Hani warned that such phenomena were remnants of ancient experiments, predating even their civilization. Despite the warnings, humanity couldn't resist investigating. Expeditions were launched, led by a new generation of explorers inspired by Captain Alara Vance and Dr. Malik. One such mission, aboard the Ecliptic Nomad, discovered what appeared to be an ancient alien construct, a colossal ring floating in a bubble of stabilized Zeroth Field energy. Its surface was covered in glyphs and carvings unlike anything seen before. The coalition convened immediately upon hearing of the discovery. The Varnathi were especially disturbed, claiming that the ring was a beacon of silence, a relic from a long-extinct civilization that had supposedly vanished after tampering with the Zeroth Field in ways that angered the universe itself. They urged humanity to leave it untouched. But humanity's curiosity was insatiable. Dr. Malik herself led the research effort, decoding the glyphs and attempting to understand the construct's purpose. What they uncovered was both thrilling and terrifying. The ring was a portal, not just a gateway to another star system, but potentially to another dimension, one where the Zeroth Field was not a passive medium but an active force, alive and incomprehensible. The coalition was split. Some argued for the portal's destruction, fearing it could unleash horrors beyond comprehension. Others saw it as an unprecedented opportunity, a chance to uncover the true nature of the universe. Humanity, as always, leaned toward the latter. The activation of the portal was a spectacle witnessed across the galaxy. Energy surged through the Zeroth Field as the ring pulsed to life, its interior filling with a swirling maelstrom of light and shadow. What emerged was not what anyone expected. A fleet of alien ships, sleek and shimmering with iridescent light, slipped through the portal. They bore no resemblance to any known species, and their technology was beyond anything the galaxy had encountered. Their arrival was not hostile, but neither was it welcoming. They spoke in resonant tones that seemed to bypass language entirely, conveying complex emotions and concepts directly into the minds of those present. "We are the architects," they announced. "You have reached beyond your understanding, and now we must decide if you are worthy of the knowledge you seek." The galaxy held its breath as humanity, represented by Dr. Malik and Captain Vance's protege, Commander Layla Acero, stood before the architects. It was a moment that would define humanity's place in the universe, not just as explorers or innovators, but as beings capable of shaping the destiny of the stars themselves. The architects, with their enigmatic presence and inscrutable motives, were a puzzle that baffled even the wisest of the coalition's species. Their ships hung in the void like celestial sculptures, refracting light into impossible patterns. The resonance of their voices, deep, layered, and resonating with the Zeroth Field itself, seemed to evoke emotions and thoughts that defied simple translation. To the coalition, they were a mystery. To humanity, they were a challenge. Dr. Anya Malik, representing humanity as its foremost scientist, and Commander Layla Acero, the protege of Captain Alara Vance, approached the architects with a mix of reverence and determination. Standing aboard the Ecliptic Nomad, tethered near the massive portal ring, the two women prepared to address the beings whose arrival had thrown the galaxy into chaos. "We are humanity," Dr. Malik began, her voice carried by the resonance amplifiers tuned to the architect's frequencies. "We seek to understand the universe and our place within it. If we've overstepped, it's not out of malice, but curiosity. A drive to learn, to grow." The architect's reply came as a wave of sensations rather than words, a cascade of images and emotions. A crumbling star, its light consumed by an expanding void. A thriving civilization, reaching too far and collapsing under the weight of its own ambition. A warning, clear and urgent. Commander Acero stepped forward, her voice steady. "We've seen the consequences of reckless ambition before. We've learned from our mistakes, but we won't stop reaching for the stars. That's who we are. If there's a price for knowledge, we're willing to pay it." The architect's ships shifted subtly, their surfaces rippling like liquid metal. The resonance they emitted deepened, growing more complex. Then, for the first time, they offered clarity. "You are as we once were," they said, their voices a harmonious symphony of frequencies. "Driven by hunger for knowledge, boundless in your will, reckless in your approach. We tempered ourselves too late. Our reach exceeded our grasp, and we paid the price." A vivid image filled the minds of everyone aboard the Ecliptic Nomad. A vision of the architect's home galaxy, teeming with life and wonder, collapsing into an abyss of fragmented dimensions. They had once been the rulers of a vast and thriving network of universes, but their experiments with the Zeroth Field had shattered the boundaries of reality, leaving their civilization in ruins. Yet, the architects continued, "We see in you a potential we lacked, a resilience, an ability to adapt, to learn from your errors. Perhaps there is hope that you might succeed where we failed." The coalition leaders, watching the exchange through remote resonance feeds, were divided. The SH Hani urged caution, while the Varnathi demanded the immediate deactivation of the portal. But humanity was not so easily dissuaded. Dr. Malik addressed the architects again. "If you've come to judge us, then let us prove ourselves. Share your knowledge, guide us, and see if we can rise to the challenge. If we fail, let it be on our terms." The architect's response was unexpected. One of their ships broke away from the fleet, a shard of living light, and drifted toward the Ecliptic Nomad. It merged with the human vessel, fusing its technology seamlessly into the ship's framework. The Ecliptic Nomad pulsed with new energy, its systems transformed into a hybrid of human and architect design. "This vessel will be your trial," the architects declared. "Through it, you will access the truths of the Zeroth Field and beyond. But beware, the path ahead is not without peril. There are forces in the void that even we do not fully understand. Should you falter, the consequences will extend far beyond your species." The portal closed behind the architect's fleet, leaving only the Ecliptic Nomad and its hybridized systems as proof of their encounter. The galaxy erupted into debate. Many feared the risks of tampering further with the Zeroth Field, while others saw the architect's intervention as a gift, a rare opportunity to transcend the limits of known science. Humanity, as always, pressed forward. The Ecliptic Nomad, now a vessel of unprecedented power, became the centerpiece of humanity's next great endeavor. Dr. Malik and Commander Acero assembled a crew of the best minds and explorers from across the coalition, uniting species that had once viewed each other with suspicion. Together, they embarked on a journey into the depths of the Zeroth Field, seeking the secrets hidden in its infinite folds. Their first destination was a region the coalition had long avoided, an anomaly known as the Chorus Rift, where the Zeroth Field sang with chaotic, overlapping harmonics. It was a place where ships vanished without a trace, where time and space warped into unrecognizable patterns. Guided by the architect's technology, the Ecliptic Nomad plunged into the rift. What they discovered defied comprehension. The Chorus Rift was not merely an anomaly. It was a nexus, a crossroads of dimensions. Vast structures floated in the void, ancient and alien, their purposes unknowable. Fragments of long-dead civilizations drifted like cosmic flotsam, their remnants whispering secrets to those who dared to listen. But the rift was not empty. Something watched from the shadows, entities born of the Zeroth Field's deepest chaos, their forms shifting and impossible to define. These beings, dubbed echoes by the crew, radiated hostility and madness. The Ecliptic Nomad barely escaped, its hybrid systems pushed to their limits to shield the crew from the echo's influence. The expedition's findings sent shockwaves through the galaxy. The Zeroth Field was not merely a medium for travel. It was a living, reactive entity, its depths teeming with dangers and wonders beyond imagination. The architects had opened a door, and humanity had stepped through, irreversibly changing its destiny. As the Ecliptic Nomad prepared for its next journey, the galaxy watched with equal parts awe and dread. Humanity, once seen as reckless and brash, had become something else entirely. A species willing to risk everything to uncover the universe's deepest truths, even if it meant facing the void's unfathomable terrors. And so, with the architect's warning echoing in their minds, humanity ventured once more into the unknown, driven by the same relentless spark that had carried them to the stars in the first place. The unyielding desire to know, to discover, and to create their own destiny among the stars.